Hello and welcome back. Just some things to talk about today as my dog bothers me. So a couple stories I seen today on Facebook. And the first one is the George Floyd statue got vandalized. So I don't think... Oh, there was another story that... swiping a fly away. There was another story where somebody, obviously of the black persuasion, said that Derek Chauvin's 22.5-year sentence was a slap in the face. I'd like to address that. The guy's gone away for almost a quarter century. No parole, no possibility of parole. He's going to do all those years. And some African American guy said, that's a slap in the face. First of all, dude, have you ever been slapped in the face? You've probably never been slapped in the face. Couple things I want to address, and this also goes with the George Floyd statue being desecrated. First of all, black people, you were ripping all our statues down, and then you want to erect a memorial to a damn criminal? Dude, lucky I didn't know where it was. Because I would have came out, dropped trowel, and took a leak right on it. Here's the deal when it comes to this whole George Floyd thing, and it's been divisive. George Floyd broke the law. You break the law, you attract the attention of the police department. It doesn't matter. You break the law, and the cops are going to come after you. The minute that George Floyd put a gun to a pregnant girl, you pulled a gun, I'm just going to say straight up, glad I'm not that cop, because I'd have put one in your face. I'm not even kidding. You know, so he dies by having a boot put on his neck, but he should have had a bullet in his head, honestly. So he died. The minute, and the law is very clear on the very absolute minute that you threaten another's life. Here in Ohio, I don't know where y'all are, wherever you're watching, but here in Ohio, the law is very clear. The minute someone pulls out a weapon to either threaten you or somebody who can act on their behalf, like a family member, you can shoot them. And it don't matter if it's a gun, a knife, it doesn't matter. You're going to try to take a life, I'm going to put one in your chest. It's that simple. So, George Floyd, I've been saying this along the way that, did George Floyd deserve to die? No. But I'm changing my stance on that. Because the minute you pull a gun and threaten a life, you're a fucking dead man. It's that simple. And this angers me. It really does, that they're erecting memorials to criminals. And they want to defund the police. Well, we still have police here. I'm happy for that. All my dealings with the police over the years haven't always exactly gone in my favor. Because when I was younger, I broke laws. I did the crime. I had the answer for that. But the minute I would have pulled a gun, which I didn't have a gun in those days, which is probably just as good, if I would have pulled a gun on the cops, they could have opened fire and killed me. It's that simple. The minute you pull a gun, you deserve to die. The minute you threaten another person's life that the police are sworn to protect, you deserve to die. And you should have got a bullet in the head, George Floyd, not a knee to the back of your neck. So, This bears the question. If Derek Chauvin had chosen to unholster his weapon and shoot George Floyd, would he be in prison? I say no. Because the minute George Floyd pulled a gun on someone, he made a conscious decision that he was ready to die. You got the cops around and you're going to pull a gun and take a hostage? You know the score, buddy. You knew the score. The minute you made a conscious decision to pull that gun out and put it to somebody, you made a conscious decision to die. And it's that simple. It's that simple. And they're just like, so I changed my stance. Did George Floyd deserve to die? At the very minute he pulled that gun out and put it to a pregnant woman, that's when he deserved to die. Like, what was the end game? What was this criminal thug thinking the end game was? With the minute you pull a gun out and the police are around, what did you think the end game was? That they were just going to take you into custody and drive you to jail? No, you already pissed them off by pulling a gun on an innocent civilian who called you out for your bullshit, trying to pass a counterfeit bill. That's a crime, George Floyd. And this has gotten so divisive. It's gotten so divisive, but, people of the black persuasion think that George Floyd's a hero and they erected a statue. Dude, I'd have taken a piss on it. I'm sorry. I have no respect for somebody who's going to be a coward and put a gun to a human life to try to avoid, the consequences of your actions. How did you think that was going to end? If George Floyd had shot that girl, they would have put him they would have filled him so full of holes, he would have whistled in the wind. And that's the reality of it. But they chose to keep their weapons holstered. For what reason, I don't know. Point is clear. Criminal pulls a gun on somebody, you blast them. It's that simple. It's that simple, but they chose to keep their weapons holstered, and now a cop who had the legal right to respond with deadly force and killed a man, he's in prison because he killed a criminal. And that's a sad state of affairs in this country. That a criminal can get a statue and a cop who had every legal right to respond with deadly force is in prison for killing a guy who is a criminal and pulled a gun on a lady that called him out. So, there was an incident when I was at Pizza Hut. There was an incident with a dog and my concealed carry that got me fired. Because the pussy policy at Pizza Hut said no guns. Might as well be a target on the door. Someone's going to run up in there and rob them one of these days. And there ain't ain't nothing that can stop them. So, a dog exhibits aggressive behavior, bites a male lady, and then turns toward me. And you think I ain't going to have my hand on my gun? You're lucky I didn't unholster the thing and drop your dog. You're taking pictures of me, calling me a rodeo pizza man, and I should have just put a bullet in your dog, and I didn't want to. That's why I kept my weapon holstered. But if I knew I was going to get fired, I'd have spread your dog's guts all over your front lawn, because I had the right to after the dog exhibited aggressive behavior. Same thing in George Floyd's case. He exhibited aggressive behavior, and he should have got shot. So, see, the story comes out. It's all still coming out. On this whole George Floyd incident, it's still all coming out in the wash, and Derek Chauvin should have unholstered his weapon and put a bullet in George Floyd. And that's a risky stance to take. But the letter of the law is clear cut that when a criminal tries to respond with deadly force, the police can respond in kind. And they don't have to hold their weapon to your body like the coward George Floyd did. George Floyd had in his mind that he wasn't committed to pulling that trigger. You could have given him 100 years. He wouldn't have pulled that trigger. Because he was a coward. You committed to this crime and then you pull a gun out that you don't even use. I'm telling you, as a legal concealed carry permit holder that I am, if I unholster my gun, you better get worried because it never comes out of the holster unless it's going to be fired. And if I commit to pulling it out in self-defense, you better be rest assured that I'm going to pull the trigger. Otherwise, it's going to stay holstered. The only time it's out of the holster is if it's fired or if it's being cleaned. And it's pretty sad day in America when a cop who did nothing wrong is in prison for 22 and a half years and then some black leader wants to say it was a slap in the face. That's a slap in the face? Derek Chauvin should have put a bullet in that dude's head. Is that a slap in the face? The law is very clear cut. Why he decided to keep his weapon holstered? The minute there is a gun, even if it's not pointed at police, the minute a firearm's introduced to that equation, the cops have the right to draw and fire upon you. And that's what should have happened to George Floyd. He should have got shot. And I don't know what they teach law enforcement, but what they teach private citizens in a situation where you could respond in self-defense. One of the things we discussed in class was, do you shoot to kill or do you shoot to wound? And he said, show of hands. Who would shoot to wound? A lot of people raised their hands. Who would shoot to kill? You don't shoot to wound in a situation like that. When a person's got a gun and he's threatening you or a family member, you drop him like a bag of rocks. And that's what should have happened to George Floyd. So black people are mad because a statue they erected in honor of a criminal got desecrated. I just got one question for you, black people. How does it feel? Really, how does it feel? Doesn't feel good, does it? So why the heck do you do it to us? So, another story I wanted to respond to is crime in Portland is rampant. Why? Because they defunded the police. Or the police force quit. I heard a lot of them just quit because I'm not dealing with this. So now the inmates are running the asylum. And look how it is. Look how it is. Black people running in the streets, lighting things on fire. Haven't you done it? Hey, black people, haven't you done enough destruction of our stuff? Haven't you done enough? How you'll just vandalize my car because you don't have nothing nice. It's not my fault you don't have nothing nice. It's your fault you don't have nothing nice. Oh, the man's holding me down. The man's not holding you down. The only man holding you down is your stupid behind. So, anyway, so there was that. And I wanted to address this story. I'm looking at it right now. WKBM posted it about 4 hours ago. It says, I'm pretty desperate. Texas man hands out resumes, holds signs in hope of getting hired. Because I'm holding a sign, they think I'm panhandling, and I'm not. I'm not asking for money. I've actually turned everybody down that wants to offer me money, he said. And he's holding the sign on the freeway. Need a full-time job, family man, hardworking and dependable, over 10 years IT experience, over 10 years office experience, will do anything, at least $15 an hour. Please take a resume. Call Justin. Now, I'm not going to put his number here. It's in this story. Because I don't want you to call Justin. Look. The job market is pretty hard most of the times. There have been times that, I've gone without a job for 6 months. And it's rough. It really is rough. But I never got ahead holding the sign on the side of the highway. And right now, for job seekers, is the best time that there is. It's the absolute best time. And you're not going to get a job. You never got a job holding the sign on the highway. Just like you never got much money panhandling. You're never going to get a job $15 an hour. At least $15 an hour by holding the sign on the side of the freeway. You want that job, Justin, you go get it. Now, back when I first started working, there was a thing that my parents said. When you were looking for a job, you pounded the pavement. It means you walked around from business to business getting applications, and then you'd spend part of your next day job seeking, walking around turning those applications in at the various businesses that you applied to. That's not a thing anymore. We have the internet. I get it that Justin's hardworking and dependable. And I'm here to tell you, as someone who's pretty darn good with computers, if you have 10 years of IT experience, Amazon would take you right now. eBay would take you right now. Even my old company, VXI, would take you right now. With 10 years IT experience, they would love to have someone like you. And they pay you $20 to $25 an hour just to do it, which is well above what you're asking for. And I get it. Please take a resume. You know how I got jobs? I took resumes. I didn't stand on the side of the road hoping that a company owner would come driving by and take my resume and call me. Your chances of standing out on the road and having a CEO drive by your position and take a resume is slim. Very slim. You might get lucky, but it's very slim. It's a very small margin there, Justin, that you're going to get somebody who can make a hiring decision. Why don't you go to Indeed.com? Indeed.com is an aggregator of people who are seeking employees for certain job tasks. And it's an aggregator. I've used Indeed. I've gotten hired. I got the Pizza Hut job from Indeed. So, granted, not if you'll do anything. I've done some crappy jobs. My dad has done some pretty crappy jobs for very minimal wage. My first job, I was a utility person at a retail store called Ames. It was a temp job. I was there a month and I was gone. Then I went to college or technical school. Then I came out with $10,000 in student loans and no job. So I had to take the first job that I got. You want to know what it was? I'm not ashamed of it. I was 21 years old and I landed a job in a family restaurant washing dishes. I'm not ashamed of that. Hey, I paid my student loans. I had a car my parents gave me. I paid my own insurance. And I had a little bit of money for fun. And I worked a lot too. And my wage was $4.75 an hour. Oh, don't scoff. There were wait staff in my restaurant that made $2 less and pretty much had to bank on someone leaving them a tip. So pretty much had to rely on their tips to make their money. When I was at Pizza Hut and I was a driver, I got to keep my tips, which is good because I was getting paid less than what I was at VXI, so the tips kind of made up that difference. But with Justin here, if he's got over 10 years of IT experience and you're looking for a job now, guess what? In the IT field, you're getting left behind rapidly. Very rapidly. I'll tell you what, if you have over 10 years in IT experiences, you should have seen some of the dolts that they had working at VXI in IT, with the exception of Lee. But Lee was one of my agents. That's how he started. And then they found out that this guy had IT experience. And they moved him right up. Got him off the phones. And he's doing IT. Which basically in that building means you sit on your butt till a problem arises. And if a problem don't arise, you get paid $25 an hour just to sit on your butt and watch TV in the basement. So with 10 years, with some of them schmucks that they had working at VXI doing IT, that were just basically throwing rain. Oh, we have a problem. Give you a good for example. One day, this was the day that Anna and I were going to leave for Great Wolf Lodge, but I was scheduled 8 hours. This is lovely. I couldn't have planned this any better myself. Well, we really couldn't work because there was no internet. There was very little internet in the building on some terminals and none on others. Not sure what happened, but there was very little internet on some computers and none on the others. So they decided so I had a meeting with, I wasn't a supervisor, but I was kind of like the person in between the supervisor and the staff. And I was staff too, but I kind of oversaw the team for my team lead because, she had 20 agents besides us, and there were like 5 of us when we initially started. Well, that was an Uber sales engagement, and we come into work and we can't work, so they're just trying to find stuff for us to do. So I called my team together in the conference room, and we just run over some simple role-playing exercises, and then they came to us and said, "We're sending you home." Perfect. That means when Anna gets off at 2 p.m., we can load the car and go. I don't have to, get off at 6 and drive in the dark, because this was fall, up to Great Wolf Lodge, so I couldn't have planned that any better. Now, someone with over 10 years of IT experience would have been able to get us back online in short order, and we would have been working. So, but in regards to Justin, that's cool passing out resumes, but you're probably going to have about a 99.5% rate of hitting people that aren't in hiring, that aren't in positions that allow them to make hiring decisions. So you're really banking on that 0.5% that might drive by on their way home from work and may get your resume. It's ambitious. Justin is ambitious, but if he really wants to impress me, I've never had any respect for anybody that panhandles on the side of the road. Because there's something that most people probably don't know about me, but right after my daughter was born, we were homeless. It was pretty much couch surfing. And I'm in my own apartment. It's not, and I've been in this apartment since 2005. And I was in another apartment downstairs from 2001 to 2005. And prior to that, we were at the Trumbull home. So I became homeless in 1995. By 96, I was living in the Trumbull homes. I lived there till 2000 in various configurations over there. But then I had to face eviction because of my first ex-wife and her bull that she was doing. Well, while I was in the middle of that, the gas got cut off because the bill was out of hand. She wasn't taking care of it. With my money, mind you. And SpongeBob's so funny. She left SpongeBob on when she left for work. She liked SpongeBob. But, so I was homeless. And I never got... The reason I have no respect for panhandlers on the side of the road is you're never going to get anywhere that way. Now, I'm a Christian, and the Bible says, don't worry about tomorrow. Tomorrow will take care of itself. Tomorrow won't take care of itself if you don't work today. That's my attitude. You know, tomorrow won't take care of itself if you don't make the money today to take care of tomorrow. Now, I'm not calling God a liar, but I do worry about the bills that are due tomorrow, the next day after that. I do kind of worry about that, you know, when I'm out figuring out how much money I have to make today. Now, today I have to make $100. I've made 28 of it so far. But it ain't going to get busier till later, and I'll just scoop up later. So I just wanted to stop and make a YouTube video. But I never got ahead panhandling. You never saw me when I was homeless, carless, jobless, pretty much destitute. I was destitute. But also at the same time, I had all these legal problems that were trying to find me for stuff I did when I lived at the old house. Now, I did pay my security deposit for that place on Olive, but I never made another payment because I wasn't working. Yes, my first wife, with all the time she forced me to miss, I lost that job when I went to jail. Yes, I've been in jail for something I didn't do. But I'm out, and all that stuff is cleared up, criminal-wise. So, that's the worst thing, when you know they're coming for you, the police. Because you broke a law. Yeah, George Floyd. You broke a law. The police come for you. Mine involved some, I'll just call it this, white collar theft. That's what it involved. From department stores. Honestly, I like to take credit for putting Hills out of business due to passing paper. Even though I made restitution, the store still went out of business. But when when you're homeless, jobless. In fact, when we actually got into the Trumbull homes, I didn't have a job. I landed a job a short time later at Kmart Distribution, but I didn't have a job. She had a job, which was odd because anybody that knows my first ex-wife knows that she don't work. She don't like to work. Shoot, I don't like to work either. But I got cable, and there's internet over there that I'm putting this video up with. And that stuff costs money. So I gotta work. So I do want to wrap here. So remember to click subscribe, hit that notification bell whenever I upload new stuff. You'll get to see it. Now I'm working, in closing, I did get some software that's gonna let me do some cool production on these videos. I haven't, I'm still playing around with it now just to see how it works and get my feel for it before I actually use it on my videos. But anyway, y'all have a great day. In Ohio, it's hot. It's damn hot. If you remember Good Morning Vietnam, that's what Robin Williams said. What's the temperature? It's hot. It's damn hot. So, anyway, have a great day. I'm probably going to try to go back to work here. And have a great Saturday. Have a great weekend. I'll be uploading this on Saturday. And remember, I probably should have prefaced this. I'll put it in the description. That if you're easily offended, don't watch this. So you all have a great day and a great weekend. And thanks for watching.